Hey folks, Brian Blessing coming to you from Las Vegas, and we're talking ponies again. The Preakness, the second jewel in the Triple Crown. And speaking of the Triple Crown, the way Nyquist ran in the Kentucky Derby, we have to think Triple Crown again, a year after American Pharoah got it done. Glad to be with you here, Big On Sports. Don't forget, follow along on Facebook and Twitter at Big On Sports. What a big moment it was for Nyquist. Gets the perfect trip. Mario Gutierrez, a beautiful ride, kept Nyquist out of trouble. Now we project what will happen in the Preakness. If you go back to the Derby, Danzig's Candy, all the speed in the race really was hard used to get to the front, and actually the pace was pretty quick on the front end. Well, Danzig's Candy is not going to be here this time around, and you'll have awesome speed. Newcomers Laney, Leoban that may try to go to the front and press the issue with Nyquist. Historically, though, the mile and 3/16 Preakness, shorter than the mile and a quarter Derby, really does favor a horse like Nyquist, the Derby winner, with that specific running style. Now, he's already throttled those horses in the Derby. Several of them will come back, but you have to read between the lines. What are the connections, intentions? Obviously, running second and third is still really good money, but when your stakes placed in a Triple Crown race, you've got the opportunity to cash a big ticket down the road in the breeding shed. It's going to be exaggerated, the second choice again, probably in the 4-1, 5-1 range, and you might get that price because know that Nyquist will be probably at the very best 3-5 in the Preakness. Now, let's talk Triple Crown because I think that's where this situation moves forward. I think Nyquist is an absolute stroke on the board in the Preakness. It's a horse race. It's why they run the race. The break, the post position draw, maybe are the biggest hurdles that this horse faces. 8 for 8 now. He's already dominated Exaggerator, yet Exaggerator is going to come right back at him. The one equalizer could be if the skies open up and it's a sloppy track, because Exaggerator's best race by a mile was on a very sloppy track in the Santa Anita Derby. The bottom line is there's no reason to think Exaggerator is going to turn the tables on Nyquist in the second jewel of the Triple Crown. But when we did our Derby preview for you here on Big On Sports, believe me, you want to pick the winner. I know we said in our preview for the Derby, the horse I thought projecting down the road for the Belmont would be Sudden Breaking News, and said for sure he'll be in there at the bottom of the trifecta or superfecta, charging late. Sure enough, he was, just missed the photo for fourth. But I think Donnie Van Hemel knows what he's doing, and the absolute thing you've got to do here for Sudden Breaking News is put this one on the sidelines, freshen him up, get to Belmont early, get some gallops in. And that's always been the biggest stumbling block for the Triple Crown, is that the Derby winner has to race 2 weeks later in the Preakness, then 3 weeks later run 1.5 miles, a distance they will never run again. But 3 races, 3 grueling races in 5 weeks takes its toll. Sudden Breaking News, if this one is freshened up for the Belmont, we know he can get the distance. We know he'll be charging late. And the difference in the Belmont likely will be it's a much smaller field. He won't have real traffic concerns in that race. And the other thing is at 1.5 miles, the pace is much slower. So Sudden Breaking News wouldn't be that far away when they turn for home and the serious running begins. Nyquist, the worst thing is his timing. The year after American Pharoah, I just don't believe he's getting the credit he deserves. Trainer Doug O'Neill has done a masterful job with this horse. Now they're doing it differently than they did a few years back with I'll Have Another, taking a much easier approach in terms of working this horse out. When I'll Have Another had to scratch the day before the Belmont several years ago with a chance to win the Triple Crown, they think they've got a Triple Crown winner on their hands. I do believe he's going to get that opportunity, and we're seeing the odds right now, 7-2 plus 350 for Nyquist to win the next 2 races and capture the Triple Crown. I'll just say this, projecting down the road, the main danger, and it will be big news if Nyquist wins, but if he doesn't, the horse that makes the news will be Sudden Breaking News. There's nothing like the Kentucky Derby and the Triple Crown chase. We got another great horse on our hands. It's a great time of year, wrapped around the NBA, the Stanley Cup playoffs, Major League Baseball in full flight. And believe me, football's not right around the corner. But at the moment, horse racing, front and center in the spotlight, and Nyquist has an awful lot to do with that. Don't forget, if you like this video and you want to get more solid betting advice, just hit the subscribe button after this video concludes right here at Big on Sports. Always a pleasure being with you. Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. Let's see how far Nyquist can go, and we'll be back with you again very soon, right here in this space at Big on Sports.